Welcome to the Savvy Safety Sisters Partner in Prevention podcast. I'm your host, Carrie Pasquarello of Global Secure Resources. Now, one of the most powerful ways we can reduce risks and prevent harm is by sharing real stories from around the world, stories that educate, inspire, and sometimes even save lives. Now, our mission is simple and powerful: to turn awareness into everyday action, to help you stay informed and prepared to protect what matters most. Now, we aim to empower our audience with education and advocacy through expert insights and guidance with voices that need to be heard. Now, imagine doing everything right, going out with friends, celebrating, or simply just enjoying an evening. And in an instant, your life changes because somebody secretly put something in your drink. Now, for too many people, this isn't a hypothetical, it's reality. And today, we're going to talk about the disappointing news that Bill S.1537, legislation designed to better protect victims of illicit drink spiking, will not be advancing this legislative session. And while that's difficult news to hear, our conversation today is going to shine a light on this bill and the people whose lives have been forever changed, and why their voices must continue to be heard. Now, today's guest is Teri Macduff. Now, she's the co-founder of Chasing Red Flags, a mental wellness brand, inspiring people to embrace authenticity and turn life's red flags into opportunities for growth. Now, together with her daughter Ella, she co-authored Let's Get Real, a guided journal created to help people reflect more honestly, strengthen their mental well-being, and build deeper connections. Now, she's a graduate of George Washington University with a degree in criminal justice. And Teri combines her background in entrepreneurship with her passion for advocacy. And after her daughter's drink spiking incident, she became a dedicated voice for victims, working to increase awareness and support legislation that strengthens protections and access to care. And known for her compassionate, down-to-earth approach, Teri is completely passionate about helping others navigate life's challenges with honesty, resilience, and hope. Thank you and welcome, Teri. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
I'm really excited to be here.
thank you. So, can you explain what Bill S1537 was designed to accomplish?
Yeah, of course. Bill S1537 was about giving victims a better chance at getting answers. One of the most important things was improving access to toxicology testing for victims of suspected drink spiking. I think what people don't often realize is that drugs leave the body incredibly quickly. And if testing isn't available in that short window, the opportunity to figure out what happened is gone. So victims deserve answers, and you only get one chance to preserve evidence. And this bill was to help you do that.
So, what was your reaction when you learned that this bill wouldn't move forward this session?
I'm heartbroken. Ella's heartbroken. We lost an opportunity to better protect victims. But we are also at the same time so grateful to Senator Paul Feeney because he made this bill one of his top legislative priorities. And when it became clear that the bill wasn't going to move through Senate Ways and Means, he fought to keep it alive by adding its key provisions to the economic bill as Amendment 447. But unfortunately, that didn't pass.
So, for victims and families who feel really discouraged, what would you say to them today?
Great question. I would say that I understand their disappointment because we feel it too. But every major change starts with people who refuse to stop talking about an issue. I think I would also say your story matters, your voice matters, and the courage that it took to come forward wasn't wasted because the conversation isn't over.
Gosh. And so in that line, why is it important that advocacy doesn't end when this legislation's delayed?
Because change rarely happens overnight, as you know.
Okay.
And if advocates through history had stopped after one setback, so many of the laws that we have today wouldn't exist. So we need people to keep showing up and educating others and sharing their stories because that's what makes a difference.
And so why is this legislation so important from a victim's advocate perspective?
Because survivors deserve systems that help them, and right now ours doesn't. And I
Yeah.
know that sounds awful and blunt, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Without timely testing, victims lose the opportunity to know what happened, and without evidence, they're left questioning themselves instead of focusing on healing.
Gosh, and that's so powerful to hear that. It's so important for these victims and survivors to have this type of support. And so, what gaps currently exist for victims that this bill would have helped address? Like, exactly what would go into helping the victims if let's say they're walking into a hospital?
Well, many victims don't realize how quickly the drugs leave your body. So I think that's an important thing for people to understand that these drugs leave your body very quickly. So by the time they understand what happened, the opportunity for testing might be gone. So that means evidence disappears. And when we don't collect that information, we also lose the ability to understand how frequently drink spiking is occurring. We cannot solve what we refuse to measure.
Oh, isn't that so true? We need the statistics. We need
Yes.
the statistics to better help our victims and survivors out there and really make
Yep.
the change. So
That's the
as we're talking about victims, what are some of the emotional, physical, long-term impacts that victims experience after an incident?
I mean, the physical effects may last for hours or even days. Ella was in the hospital and the ICU for 2 nights. But the emotional effects can last for years. Many victims we spoke to, including Ella, experience anxiety, loss of confidence, panic attacks, difficulty trusting others, and that blends into other areas of their life. No victim should have to carry this uncertainty for the rest of their life.
Yeah, that's so true. And so what message would you want every victim listening today to hear?
What happened to you matters. You deserve compassion, you deserve support, and you deserve to be heard.
Those are pretty powerful words right there. Now, what are the next steps? Is there hope that this bill can be reintroduced?
Yes, this is not the end. Senator Feeney has made it very clear that he intends to keep fighting for this issue, and putting the bill forward again, and so will we. We won't
Yeah,
stop fighting.
that's so great to hear. Now, how can listeners help support victims and encourage lawmakers to continue this effort?
First, believe victims. Second, educate yourself about drink spiking and why timely toxicology matters. Third, and this is really powerful, lawmakers pay attention when people speak up. So every phone call, every email, every shared story reminds them that this is affecting real people and real families. And lastly, protect yourself when you go out. Use a nightcap, which is a drink cover that you can cover your drink with. Never leave your drink unattended. Make sure you're with someone that you feel safe and supported with so that they can also be paying attention around you, and just protect yourself in any
Yeah.
way you can.
In fact, I have one of the nightcaps right here. Such a wonderful invention.
Oh yeah.
And we have to do more to protect ourselves and our friends out in this world, and acknowledging the harm that can be done and making sure that we have strategies, tools, and techniques to help us stay safer is so important. Now, if you could leave legislators with one message, what would it be?
Oh, that's a great question. Um, please don't let this issue fade away. The legislation should have been a no-brainer, It was asking for victims to have a better opportunity to preserve evidence before it's gone forever. Because I like to say evidence has an expiration date, but trauma doesn't.
That's very powerful. Well, we're at the end of our time today, so we covered a lot. And as we end, if you could share one message with our listeners based on everything you know about drink spiking, what would it be?
It's happening everywhere. It's happening in waters. It's happening in alcoholic drinks. Be careful.
Yeah.
And I would say, as Ella's mom, I couldn't protect her from what happened that night, but I will never stop fighting to protect someone else's child or someone else.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Teri, for all you're doing. I want to thank you for sharing your time and your expertise and your unwavering commitment to victims and survivors. And all I can say is while this legislative session may be ending, the need to protect people from drink spiking has not. And every conversation raises awareness, every advocate makes a difference, and every voice helps move us closer to meaningful change. And so, to our listeners today, if this conversation resonated with you, please share this episode with your friends. Awareness is one of the strongest tools we have for prevention and support and accountability in this world. And I'll be sure to add resources to our podcast notes, including where you can find Teri at her website, where you can find her journal that is so amazing, her Instagram account, TikTok account, all the different ways so that you can get in touch with her and help her in this mission of getting this legislation passed, hopefully next session. And so, with that in mind, we'll be back for another episode to increase public awareness about topics faced by people in their daily lives, whether traveling around the corner or the world. And be sure to visit us at globalsecureresources.com for more information about our community awareness and prevention programs. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back. Take care.